Hello from the, I'm gonna call this the upper minor trailhead outside of Breck. You can see we took a 4x4 car to get up here. Definitely a 4x4 road. Today we're gonna be hiking a mini version of the Tenmile Traverse. For a full trail guide on this traverse, you can check the link in the description below. So we're out here in the fall doing a mini version of the traverse. The reasoning for that really is because this is, I think, the most scrambling part of the traverse. We might keep going after peak 6, which is pretty much where this one ends, to go farther. We'll see how the day kind of takes us. In any case, this version is going to be 14 miles if you can't get up to the upper trailhead, or about 8 if you can get up here, with 4,500 feet of elevation gain. I'd subtract about maybe 1,000 of that if you can get up here. The first part of this, we're just going to be following the Colorado Trail, and then after about maybe a mile or so, we're going to break off and be bushwhacking for a bit. All right, so we're about a mile in here. I think what we're gonna do is kind of break up here to ascend this point to get onto the 10-mile traverse itself. So yeah, this is more or less your ridge of today, the technical part at least, and then you'll keep going that way. From this point of the hike on, you'll be kind of on your own. Eventually getting to Tenmile Peak, the first one of your day here, is the target. So we're just gonna kind of hoof it through these fields, find the path of least resistance, and start making our way up. Well, it turns out, it looks like there might be a social trail here. We're gonna follow this, see where it takes us. Check out the views behind us here. Absolutely gorgeous. So this is segment 7, I believe, of the Colorado Trail. Behind us, one of our favorites. We are towards this kind of ridge point here. After we gain it, we're gonna go left. Looking back, beautiful scenery, smoky as hell down towards Breck, but a nice day otherwise. Mileage update here as Rick and I are working up. It's a 10 mile. We're about a mile and a half in, and we've already gained 1,200 feet here. As you can see, we're working up this rock field here on the ridge. As you get closer to 10 mile, you're gonna get some nice class 3 scrambling to kind of warm you up for the bigger day ahead of you here. If you had started at, I forget the name of the peak, but doing the full 10-mile traverse, essentially you would have just gained this peak here, worked your way on this relatively easy ridge up to 10-mile Peak, where we're going right there. The summit of 10-mile Peak here, just about 1.8 miles to the summit. Look at these views, fall in its finest. And back to peak 1 over there, and just about 2,000 feet of elevation gain. Absolutely gorgeous up here. I'll show you some views while we're talking a bit more about what's next. So from this point on to peak 3 and 4, you're gonna have a lot of technical stuff, class 3, 4, and yeah, it's gonna be really the fun part of this ridge. Quite busy here today, which is surprising. So there, you know, usually there's going to be some cairns along the way, but some route finding as well. You should be able to stay ridge direct for the most part here. It's the only thing you're going to have to skirt around. So you're going to have to go right, so west, and skirt around it before regaining the ridge. Might be able to see some people right in that area working their way down, and then you can stay direct for most of this. Where Rick's going right now, he's about to get cliffed out. So we're gonna work down to the right, and this is the only part you're gonna have to traverse around. What a freaking scene up here, holy crap. Basically, you're gonna want to get to this saddle right here, a little notch, and then from there take this all the way around to about right there to where the sun is, and skirt back up and start climbing again. Just finishing up a small descent, we kind of came here. I'm sure you could send this, but it looks pretty loose and definitely higher class 4. So once you come here, just find your way down. It'll be pretty obvious. That's what she said. Taking a look at your next section here, without a doubt going to be the most exposed, the highest class. So we are pumped. And then you can see someone standing on the peak of 3, I believe, right there. This part right here is called the Dragons, and as you can see, very exposed. We're going to stick to the ridge because that's what you're supposed to do, and apparently there's a quote interesting down climb, but that's the crux of the route. All right, starting the Dragon's Tail here, crux of the route. Gonna be some good exposure, hopefully solid rock quality. Rick has once again guinea pigged this section for me, but yeah, excited to finally be on it. Been staring at it all day. Whew. Oh, Jesus. Whew. Sweet.
Nice.
Nice. Top of the ridge here, made a new friend in David, and we're just working our way on the crux of this route. It's super exposed, but rock is on and off, so test everything, because a fall on most of these sections are death, like you're dead. All right.
Oh, nice.
And from here, might look at the down climb from the Dragon's Tail. Be careful, lots of loose stuff. So Rick is just demonstrating how to take your time. A wider perspective there of it. And quite a bit of exposure on both sides. Looking back at the down climb there, what a freaking awesome tail that was. Really, really fun. Loads of exposure though. So from here, you're gonna just continue along the ridge here. It's gonna be a lot more class 3, but not as much as what you had there in terms of exposure. And yeah, you have several peaks to go still. Summit of Peak 2, I believe. Maybe it's Peak 3, I don't know. I think it's Peak 3 actually. Looking ahead, you can see your obvious route up to Peak 4. And it's gonna be some more class 3. The crux definitely behind you there. So hopefully you can pick some speed up at this point. Definitely not trail running conditions yet, but once you get to 4, you should be able to cruise over to 10 if that's your final destination. As you get to this final little ridge on Peak 4 here, there's a little ramp you might be able to see. Kind of goes up there. Almost up Peak 4 here. Lots of class 3, lots of ways to go around it if you do want to, but Definitely nowhere near what you had on the Dragon's Tail. On the summit, or basically on the summit of Peak 4 here, all your technical hiking is behind you now on 10 Mile. Awesome views here of Copper, and then as you can see, Rick starting the really easy hike that is going to take you to Peak 5, Peak 6, and to Peak 7. From Peak 4 that we just finished back there, you're gonna have like really fast moving. You could probably you could trail run this very easily, and you'll be able to do 5, 6, 7, and then once you get to 7, there's going to be some rollers to 8, 9, and 10, and then you take 10 down the service road back down to Breck's base, and either take a free shuttle back to kind of your starting area, or have a bike, something stashed, or ride, whatever. We are not doing that today. Neither one of us really feel like it, so we're gonna call it a day after 6, and I'll show you the way down, but it's super straightforward, just taking the Colorado Trail back down. Summit of Peak 5 here. Very easy to get up to this one. Super straightforward. Looking back to Peak 4 there, and then 10 Mile Peak right there. Finally intersecting with the very obvious Colorado Continental Divide trail here. And like I said, we're gonna tag Peak 6. So essentially you're gonna follow this trail for a little bit, and then you'll be kind of obvious when to go up Peak 6, because the trail will go down, and that's not what you wanna do. But for now, enjoy the nice established trail here, which you'll not have for most of the rest of the hike, unless you're calling it a day and going back like we are. Pretty obvious turn off, Colorado Trail, 10 Mile Traverse. Summit of Peak 6 here. Looking ahead, if you were to keep going, so you have 7, 8, 9, 10, and then you'd go back down to the base. I have nothing to prove, don't feel like doing that, so we're gonna turn around here, take the Colorado Trail down. 5 miles to Peak 6 here, and about 3,300 feet of elevation. Beautiful up here, but definitely a tough day. If you didn't add 6, you would have come down from here, get right on the Colorado Continental Divide Trail here, and head back down. Yeah, this has been an awesome day, really fun. Like I said, for me, adding the rest of the peaks is just not something I care to do. I wanted to make this a ridge scramble, and that's what we kind of kept today too, besides tagging 6. Really, we tagged 6 because we were halfway there anyway, so you might as well. But yeah, awesome day. By the way, I'm not gonna cover much of this trail, if any of it, because you can check out my Colorado Trail segment 7 video, and it'll show you way more information than I want to add to this video on how to get back down and what that looks like. But super well established trail, and yeah, I think it's like 3 miles back down to the car. One last look at most of the traverse. So that's Peak 3 right in front of you. You got the dragon tail behind you, 10 Mile behind that, Peak 1 in the distance. Almost back to the truck now. Have just over a mile to go. This hike is going to end up being just about 10 miles, and that's adding Peak 6. If you didn't add Peak 6, it'd be about maybe 8.5, something like that. Final elevation, 3,600 feet. Definitely an awesome day. The ridge between Peaks 3 and 4 is just a blast. Really, really fun. Yeah, of course, like I said earlier, test the rocks while you're on it, but it's a really, really fun little stretch there. That's gonna wrap up the video here on the condensed 10 Mile Traverse. did about half the peaks today. If you're new to my channel and found this video entertaining or useful or somewhat helpful at all, give it a thumbs up. It really helps in the algorithm on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, not to miss any future hike related adventures. As always, if you want to support Virtual Sherpa, check out my shop. Linked in the description below is in addition to all the gear used today. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you on the next adventure.